Alright, peace everybody, this your boy Anti-Simp back with a new video, and like I've been promoting for the last couple of days, this video was titled Undateable. I call this video Undateable because I was having a conversation with my homie about a girl on Monday who was trending on Twitter because she had been killed by what I would call a power simp. Her name was Bianca Devins, known on 4chan as OxyChan. She was killed by a dude named Brandon Clark. She had the intent on hurting the dude that killed her. Twitter tried to make her out to be a super victim, a young girl living her best life, killed by her power stalker or whatever. But in reality, he was a friend of the family, also a dude she had sex with. They had some weird relationship, and with a name like OxyChan, you can only speculate, that it was a weird relationship. She told him she didn't really want to mess with him like that. She told him she really didn't care for him and that he meant nothing to her. She used him and that he was easily replaceable with like 6 other dudes that she was messing with. Their whole conversation was screenshot and posted on Discord. He wanted revenge for her hurting him, and he killed her. To him it was about redemption. He killed her and he posted it up on his I think his Instagram account or Snapchat. And there was like all these websites with pictures of the aftermath. He tried to take his own life, but he didn't succeed. The last time I read about this was, and the updates, he was in like critical condition and had to have like an emergency surgery in order to survive. But according to the reports, he was going to survive. My homie said he had felt nothing for her, and that females do unnecessary things that end up getting them hurt or killed. He also pointed out that it was unhealthy for him to feel that way, and he realized that he and a lot of other black men have reached a point where they have gone to the dark place. Females have done so much dumb and unnecessary things that it's hard for him to feel sorry for them. And many of us black men feel that same way. Females do a lot of dumb nonsense, and it ends up getting them hurt or killed, and sometimes we don't really feel that, we don't feel anything for them. That's how much things have affected us in this country. Betrayal, many other things. Betrayal, their attitude towards us have just affected how we view them. In fact, some black men may even enjoy their pain and suffering. When you reach a point where you're in a dark place, you need to pull yourself out of the dating game. A woman by the name of Kendra D on YouTube said that she had begun dating recently after taking some time to get herself together. She had been married for, I think she said 20 years, and her husband had passed away. When she began dating, she said she met a few good guys, and I believe she also met a guy who sounded like he might have been in a dark place. So many of us have reached that place dealing with black women in America. We just don't give a damn about anything anymore. Once you've reached a dark place, you've become undateable, and you need to remove yourself from the market. You should remove yourself from the dating games to avoid hurting other people. This goes for black women as well, but we already know that they're undateable. That's why 78% are single. When you don't care, when you don't have any sympathy for the opposite sex, when bad things happen to them, you've become apathetic. Not having sympathy puts you in a dark place. There needs to be balance. You can't be too soft-hearted, and you can't be too dark. There has to be balance. Don't get me wrong, apathy is good sometimes. Like when we're unwavering on the excuse about reparations. We don't give a damn about what's going on with other groups because it ain't about reparations. And that's good apathy. On the other hand, not having apathy towards one another is a bad thing. And my next point is that there's levels of darkness that you can basically, ascend to. There's one level is basically like there's no emotion. There's no emotion when something bad happens to the opposite sex. When there's, no emotion when something bad happens to the opposite sex, that's a pretty, that's a pretty low level. Or you might even say high, Then there's the suffering of others, the suffering of the opposite sex. Enjoying the suffering of the opposite sex. Like when that 19-year-old girl set up a man to get robbed and ended her night in critical condition, which I recently learned today that she actually passed away. She was in a coma and brain dead, and I guess she just didn't make it. But no emotion is one level before maxing out. The max level is enjoying the suffering of others. This is not good for us. It's very bad. Now that I've talked about the bad and, a little bit about, having decent or good apathy, here's, some hope or whatever, because like I said, this is bad. It's not good to be, in a dark place. The healing. The best way to heal is therapy. And I don't mean like a doctor or whatever, but a change of environment. Stepping outside the country, new scenery, new experiences. Go to a new place. You need to refresh yourself to bring the balance back. I remember years ago, there was a short documentary that came out, and if I can find the video, I'm going to leave a link in the description. But there was a documentary that came out about black men going to Brazil. I believe the video was called Frustrated, something like that. Frustrated, black men going to Brazil. Some of the females in the documentary were hating. They were hating on it. But you could see how happy the dudes was, in the video. And how refreshed they were. So changing your scenery and going somewhere else where, black women actually treat you right, might not be a bad thing. It actually is not going to be a bad thing. It is going to be refreshing. I have a homie, who tells me that he goes outside the country all the time. I think sometimes he even deactivates his Facebook or social media accounts just to unplug himself from the machine, or if you will, from the matrix, as they call it. And he always talks about how refreshed he is, but he also talks about dreading coming back here. So like, while it refreshes you and you gain your sympathy back, sometimes you still I don't know, because of the balance, you just know that you shouldn't stay here for too long, and you should begin putting some stamps on your passport. Alright, man, this is all the time I have for this video. Until my next video, you guys take care. Peace.